mandatory nurse-patient ratios. We've been carrying this industry on our back for decades. Other industries protect each other. You have UAW here, you have NNU here, you see the union people that are here, that's great. And then there are people in the Midwest, where I live right now, who are never unionizing. You know why? Because they're terrified. And you know what I say? I say all those non-union nurses need to join this movement. And we all need to get together and do these things together, regardless of organization. Safe staffing is a non-partisan issue. Okay? I'm calling for all nursing organizations, associations, unions to just unite behind one thing: safe staffing. That's it. We need to concentrate on the issue that unites us and not the division we can very easily foster with the many, many issues facing nursing every day. Okay? That's all there is here. SB55, Ohio. You guys are working your butts off. I am so happy to be here. Okay? Please encourage your sister and brother nurses all over Ohio to get together with you, no matter what organization they're in, and fight. And don't allow anything else to divide you. That's our problem. Thanks for letting me talk to you.
Got another chant, and I'm going to have Shelley Thibeau come up with me. And let's see, what do we want? Patience over profit. 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 All right. Shelley Thibeau is going to be our next speaker, and she's from the Ohio chapter. Show me your stethoscopes. So.
First of all, I want to thank the UAW for inviting me up here and for putting on this rally. And I want to thank Janie for taking time out of her schedule. I know it was a last-minute visit for her. A lot of the things I've mentioned have already been talked about by the previous two, but we'll see how this goes. So we all know medical errors are the third leading cause of death in this country. Medical mistakes, unrecognized complications after surgery, and medication errors. So nurses are on the front line, and we are the ones that will catch all of these errors. This statistic should scare you, and it should scare hospital administrators all across the country. So why aren't they working to fix the problem? Obviously, the simplest solution is have enough people at the bedside. The staffing levels we know we need to take care of all of these issues, not the staffing levels administrators tell us we need. When nurses are stretched too thin, unintentional errors occur. Unintentional. I have never known a nurse that clocked in today and said, I want to provide poor care. We go into this profession wanting to do compassionate care for our patients to help them recover when they're sick and injured. Unintentional errors occur when we are stressed, task-oriented, or simply distracted after keeping up with call lights, phone calls, med passes, patient care tasks that happen during a shift. Often, when nurses clock in for a shift, we tell ourselves subconsciously, today I'm not going to be able to be the nurse I want to be. I will be the nurse that I have to be to get through this shift. When we are given more patients than we have time to take care of, we learn to adjust. The first thing we do is we quit taking care of ourselves. We skip our lunch breaks. We wait to go to the bathroom until it's absolutely necessary. And then when we still don't have enough time to care for our patients the way that we want to, we start cutting corners in compassionate care. We don't spend that extra 5 minutes sitting in there holding our elderly patient's hand when they are scared and alone. We do this not because we want to, but because we have to. When we can't provide the care the way that we want to, we are left feeling unfulfilled and frustrated. Many will leave the bedside feeling like failures as a nurse. As a professional nurse, we all have a duty to speak out in unsafe situations. Yet we all know a nurse that has been reprimanded or fired for speaking out. We are told things like, you need better time management skills. You need to work smarter, not harder. What kind of condescending bull is that? This issue matters to every nurse. No matter what issues we are divided on, this is one issue that we can come together and speak out about. Because we know that in order to take care of our patients the way that we want to, we need enough help there to do it. Every person who's not a nurse who may be here today, at some point in your life, you will be a patient. There was a nurse in the room when you took your first breath in this world, and there will probably be a nurse in the room when you take your last. And multiple times in between, you are going to have contact with nurses when you are sick and injured. We will be taking care of your loved ones. We will be taking care of you. So this issue is important to you as well. The evidence is there. It's been there for years. So why are we still fighting for it today? And all of our nursing organizations have the evidence, yet we have not been able to pass safe staffing legislation across the country. Why is that? If your nursing organization is not standing up here today, ask them why. Why aren't you up here speaking out for mandated ratios to keep our patients safe? Before you go back and pay your membership dues, ask them to support this issue and tell them why it's important to you. ANA has less than a 6% membership rate, yet they claim to speak for all nurses. What about the other 94? I'm here to tell you today we can speak for ourselves. We want mandated ratios. We want whistleblower protection. Our patients deserve it. Nurses all over the country are watching us today. We have nurses here from Michigan, Pennsylvania, Missouri, and New Jersey. Is Denise Rowe here today? She made it. Denise Rowe is from Indiana, and she was a patient at the Cleveland Clinic last night. She was discharged this morning, and she is so passionate about this issue that she drove from her hospital bed here to be with us today. So if this issue is that important to her, what is your excuse to not get involved? To the 12 senators on the Healthcare Committee, I say to you, 1 in 45 voters is a nurse. 1 in 45. And those other 44 in between, we are taking care of them from their first breath until their last breath. And they will listen to us because we are the most trusted profession in the United States. So if you do not vote this bill out of committee, your constituents are going to call your office and they're going to ask you why. Last night, when I was trying to convey the frustration that the average nurse feels, I was having a hard time articulating what I wanted to say. I happened upon this Facebook post by a nurse by the name of Martha Phillips, and I think we can all relate to this. My friends here on Facebook will tell you this is an unexpected statement coming from me, as I journal somewhat regularly and frequently. I'll be the first to admit that the act of writing about my patient care experiences has helped me tremendously in processing the endless tragedies to which I have borne witness over the past 15 years. But here's the kicker, it's not enough. This stems from an aborted webinar in which I attempted to participate this morning, hosted by the ANA, the overarching professional organization representing nurses in the United States. The topic of the webinar was A Nurse's Guide to Preventing Compassion Fatigue, Moral Distress, and Burnout. Within 20 minutes, the presenter was giving us the same standard shitty list of things to do to help ourselves when we feel burnout on the job. Included on this list were find your sense of purpose, stop ruminating, do breathing exercises at work, get enough sleep, journal. Well, okay then. Here's my purpose. My purpose is to not let my patient in room 3 die. She has a blood pressure of 80/40. She's not mentating well. This is tricky because my patient behind the curtain in room 4 is busy screaming at her mother in Russian, and triage has just hauled someone into room 2 who is audibly gasping for breath. I have no extra staff to help because we are coding someone in the trauma room as well as awaiting for airless arrival for a child who has fractured their skull and is decompensating. Would you tell someone who is depressed to stop being depressed? Would you tell someone who is diabetic to stop being a diabetic? Why the hell would you tell me to stop ruminating? If I could stop ruminating on my own, I would. I can't. Your suggestion is not helpful. Let me tell you about my breathing exercises at work. When we stop doing compressions on a 54-year-old father of 3 who is having a huge MI, we charge to 360 and shock him. I hold my breath as I watch the monitor to see if his heart somehow, miraculously, will pop back into a perfusing rhythm. When it doesn't, then I breathe again. I try to get enough sleep, but after the catatonic 6-year-old showed up and we went to get a urine cath to check for infection, we realized her bloody underwear was on inside out and sideways, and the father noticed us noticing and simply stared at us, daring us to say something. I might have had some trouble sleeping that night. Journaling, the saving grace of ER nurses. I journal and journal and journal. Still, I replay interactions with patients in my head, in the shower, on a run, in the car, trying to sleep. Still, I dream endlessly, constantly, that I'm at work. And it doesn't ever stop. Let me tell you what we need. In addition to safe staffing, covered breaks, fair wages, and adequate staff report to really prevent compassion fatigue, moral distress, and burnout. We need tools, not platitudes. We need details, not generalizations. We need active intervention, not crisis response. My alcoholic, psychotic patient fighting for 4 security guards as we put him in locked restraints. His conversation with me goes like this, and I edited it. F you, you nasty effing bitch. All you effing bitches are effing whores, and I bet you like it dirty, you nasty effing cunt. I would like to learn how to not hate this patient. Give me the exact tools I need not to despise this human being. I don't have that in my toolbox. When my college-age patient, who has been violently raped by another student she thought was a friend, leaves my care after a lengthy 5-hour stay, I find I'm still thinking about her 3 days later. I would like to learn how to stop ruminating, just as you instructed me to in your webinar. How do I let her go? How do I let her suffering leave me? How can I bear witness without bearing burden? Because we have a painfully slow physician working in the ED, I now have to apologize hourly for the last 4 hours to the family of a small child with a fever and ear pain. She has been wailing intermittently with anguish for the 2 hours she waited in the waiting room, and now again for 3 more back here waiting for the doc to finally see her. I would like to learn how to coordinate with management about providing a less shitty experience for this little girl and her family. Something has to give. Either the doc needs to pick up the pace or we need to change our expectations for our department. How do we choose? How do we act as a voice for our patients in the scenario? How do I ensure that management enacts follow-up and communication with all parties involved? We are burning. American nurses are burning, but only by degrees. We are bleeding out through our million paper cuts, and patients are the ones who suffer. When you don't effectively help your nurses, they fail at their work. And when nurses fail at their work, people die. The disconnect between nurses in the trenches and nurses in the ivory tower is incredibly profound, incredibly vast. We don't even speak the same language anymore. We can't come out of the trenches to walk up the stairs to the tower. We're too damn busy trying to keep it all together. You've got to come to us. That's what I want for Nurses Week. I want our national leadership to hang out with us on a night shift in the ER, put on some restraints, do some compressions, to fend off a raging family member. I want them to get effing dirty for once. And then I want them to journal about it.
All right, LaTanya McDonald Greenlee from the UAW is going to lead us in the next chant. All right, I'm not quite sure how to start this. You always give me something hard to do, but that's okay. I'm going to rise to the occasion. All right.
What would administration tell us to do? What should administration tell us to do?
Work smarter, not harder.
Do what?
Work smarter, not harder.
Do what?
Work smarter, not harder.
And what are we going to do?
Work smarter.
I think so.
All right. Think you got anything to say about safe staffing, Latanya?
All right, here's my little bit,
I know you do.
and I think everybody should hear this. When somebody is asking you to do something that you're not capable of doing, or you think that you are stretched to the end, you push as far as you can push, you need to tell them whose name is on your nursing license. Your name is not on my license. You cannot tell me how much I can do. I'm my patient's advocate. So don't tell me what I can do. I'm going to tell you because I'm going to take care of you and your family like I want mine to be taken care of. So when I say no, it means no. So what are we going to say? No!
The next person speaking is Sharon Maxey, and she's going to lead us in a chant. Hopefully it's a little better than the last one.
I don't know what that meant.
Oh, you pick it, Sharon.
Oh, I can pick
You
it.
can pick it.
Oh, I got to share it.
Well, this is one of my favorite. Are you down for poor staffing? No! Are you down for poor staffing? No! I can't hear you. No! Are you down for poor staffing? No! Woo! We got to keep the momentum going, no matter if you're an RN, LPN, aide, no matter what you are. We're all going to be patients. We all take care of patients, and we want to do our best when we do it. Like I heard before, I didn't go to work in the morning to hurt somebody. And unless we say no is enough, it could be your license.
Okay. I want to share a little, I want to have a conversation. That's what me and Latanya usually say. I want to have a conversation with you about safe staffing and what it means to me. Last year, I was a patient, and it was terrifying to be that patient because I know how short we are, and nobody speaks about it. It's the elephant in the room. And the care that I had from the nurses that I represent, I cannot express the thanks and gratitude. And people say, well, Sue, you represent these people and you're letting them see your private parts? Hell yes, I am. Hell yes, I am. Because these folks have my back 100%, just like I have their back 100%. And we got to look out. Just like they looked out for me, we got to look out for the community. We got to be the voice for the patient. We got to put patients before profits every single time. If it's unsafe, we're going to call them out on it. Whether you're a union nurse or you're not a nurse, welcome to the movement, okay? Welcome to the movement. Senate Bill 55, as the sister said back there, saves lives. We gotta start doing something. Anything is better than what we've been doing. As the one sister said, they've been putting it on our backs for way too long. We gotta find our voice and speak out and not be afraid. Okay, what's the worst they can do to you? They can, oh, you might lose your job, but you're not gonna hurt somebody that day. You're not gonna lose your license that day, so it's a good day. Because in the end, if you don't say no and you don't stand up for the patient, what's that the definition of?
Insanity.
Right? It's not going to change unless we make them change. That is why we're out here on a Friday afternoon raising some hell, okay? We're not going away. This ain't a one-day rally. We're coming back, and we're coming back until we make a change. I want to thank all of the union leadership and organizational leadership that showed up today, that spoke, and we need to join together. If there was ever, as Janie said, a unifying thing that we can get behind, it's patient safety, for Pete's sakes, right? So, me and Shelley, where is Shelley? Shelley, we had an idea to make these little handouts for you, and Mary's gonna give them to you. So we wanted action. And they were all griping yesterday that they were working at Sue's sweatshop, even though I fed them and everything, because they were making these into these little bundles for you. So the last time when we introduced this legislation and Michelle was here and Shelley was here, there was about 15 of us. We've more than tripled our size since February 14th, and the next time we come back, we're gonna bring more with us. Okay, so we want you to take these, and we want you to sign them, okay? And on the other side, the flip side, fill out your senator's name and put a postcard on it or a stamp on it and mail it. Get 10 of your friends to do this with you, okay? And talk to them about why this is important. Talk to your family why it's important. We're afraid to leave our families in the hospital. We have a vigil if somebody's in my family in the hospital because we ain't leaving them there. We ain't leaving them there by themselves. I had a family member, my daughter has a lot of health problems, and she grabbed hold of me and she says, "Mom, don't leave me, they're gonna kill me in here. Don't leave me, Mom." That's sad, but true. She worked in the hospital with me, and she knows. We all know. Whether you're the housekeeper, you're the aide, you're the pharmacist, you know. When you're being too stretched, too long, that rubber band's gonna break. And God help you if it's your family, your loved one in that bed, or better yet, you, right? And if it's a CEO, or it's somebody that's in the political field, we'll have CEOs come down and handpick who's taking care of them. They'll deep clean that room like it ain't never been cleaned before. Now we should be treating everybody the same way every time. If we're doing all this thing before Joint Commission comes in, why ain't we doing this every day? You know, we need more help. We need more housekeepers. We need more aides. We need more nurses. We need more staff. Not more profits. We need more help. And as the one sister said, keep your trinkets. Keep your mugs. Keep your breakfast. Give us some more staff. Okay? So what we want to do is we're going to have my sister Sue back there has made a drum, and she's been itching to use this for a while. So she's going to lead us in some chants, and we're going to make some noise, okay? Thank you all for coming today.
Anybody who knows me.
Great.
All right, my best skill. All right. Who's ready to make some noise? Ready to make some noise? Right, it's pretty simple. If we fight, we win. If we fight, we win. 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 We fight, we win.
You should have got all of them.
Patients first! Patient safety first! Patient safety first! Patient safety first!
You should have paid to make me small, bro.
Type man. So I got corns, but I mean, every time you get to watch somebody, your pants will look in the background. They don't make people pause on you. Yeah, right. You start wearing them children pants.
It's still cold.
It's just kind of like it's cold out here.
I have it on inside. It was cold inside. Yeah, I know you don't come soft. Walker, you go do some cooking there today? It's nice, man. Yeah, they was nice guys, though.
You can't beat Walker.
Walker said, oh, he's at 8 now or something.
Young nigga know you used to get 4 or 5.
But it was small, though. Nuggets. Big side. Before I started letting them know I was here.
That ain't great.
I say, hey, Louis on. Give me some extra. $6 for a fish.
I ain't gonna complain.
$2 for a pork fry.
Yeah, I ain't gonna complain. Everybody tells someone down here y'all working. What y'all about? For like 1 hour? That's great. What's up, buddy?
No, you're not.
And I know better than that. Everybody talking that down here, though.
This is good.
You said that peasant dollar, man. You don't care.
This is what he gave me on peasant.
Charles, you can drink.
No, he lost $20 on the check. And look what that $20.
What's I'm gonna put it in my shoe and walk around.
I would have paid $20.
That was my point. Have to find that varsity or something, right? Just something out here, just something out here.